Hello and welcome to another episode of Marketing for Your Future. I am your host, Cindy Ashton from the Daily Ad Brief. I am absolutely thrilled to interview today a dear friend and a brilliant marketer, Stephanie Scheller from Grow Disrupt. Hello, Stephanie. Thrilled to have you here.
Hello, I'm so excited to be here today. This is a blast. Cindy, look at where we've come.
It's so fun. We've known each other for a few years and we've grown together. For those who don't know your fabulousness, can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Yes, so very quick background. I started my first business in 2014, May 2014. It was a sales training business, and very quickly built that into the largest, most active sales training practice in Central Texas. And then at 26 years old, went through what I'm hoping is not a midlife crisis because I would really like to live beyond 50. But I realized I didn't want to be a sales trainer. I'm very good at it. I'm very engaging and personable, and I understand the processes and the psychology of it, but I didn't want to be a sales trainer, and took a while of trying to figure out, so what do I want to be when I grow up? And eventually someone said, you have all this skill with designing and producing educational sales events. Why don't you do this, but for small businesses, which is where your heart is at? And I just had this aha moment of, yes, it's basically not even a new business, which is what I thought at the time, which turns out there was a whole lot to learn. But that was what we started in 2016. We put together the very first Grow Retreat to run in January 2017. And it has just gone from there. We design and produce events specifically built for small business owners, leveraging psychology so that we can understand how do we put this event together in a way that makes sense for these small business owners to not just attend, but to actually then walk out and do something with the information that they have just learned. So I absolutely love it. And we've been doing this now since 2016. So however many years that happens to be, and grown into where this week, internationally lauded, and people say this is better than Tony Robbins, which is wild to hear. But that's me.
I love it. And I know firsthand from being one of your speakers in the past, right before COVID hit, how phenomenal your events are. And truly, I've been speaking and doing events for 25 years plus as the performer and the speaker. And what you do is so radically experiential and hands-on, and it's brilliant. Now, a lot of people are trying to do events, and since COVID hit, it's always been a challenge before COVID and the pandemic to really market, but now it's even a bigger beast. Can you talk to us about what it really takes to market an event effectively? And we're talking live events.
Right. And it is funny to me because so many times I talk with someone who comes to me and says, Stephanie, I'm putting on an event. And, because I do some speaking too. And so sometimes I'm being hired as a speaker, and sometimes they're just coming, because that's what we do. And how frequently the conversation is, I've got this really great event. We've got these speakers, we put the content together, and, I just want to know how to put together a website. And the belief is that if you build it, they will come. And it doesn't work like that. It hasn't worked like that in, I don't know, 30 years. But it definitely hasn't worked like that in the event industry. And so it is really important to not just take the time to design the event, but also to make sure that there is an actual strategy behind marketing. And that starts before you even get into how am I going to let people know this event exists. I encourage people to back all the way up and look specifically at what is it that makes your event different from the rest. There are a lot of events out there. So how is your event going to be different? Why will your ideal attendee, whoever they are, first of all, you need to get to know them very well. But why would they attend your event? For us, it's small business owners and entrepreneurs. And if you think about who our ideal audience is, they are so busy running their business, and most of them, the business centers on them. So for them to take 2, 3, or 4 days away from their business to go to an event can be catastrophic for them. And mentally, it's very challenging for them to convince themselves to do that. And so, whatever it is I'm going to bring to the table for the event, I absolutely have to make sure it is worth those individuals' time to get away from their day to day, and actually step into the event, attend the event, and convince them that the event's going to be worth it enough for them to invest up front and then show up to the actual event as well. And those are very, very difficult to do. So I think it starts there, is just first let me get to know who my audience is, make sure that what I'm producing is not something, and I just speak from experience. There were so many times that I was like, well, of course they need this information, right? And I didn't actually get to know my audience to say, if I brought in this speaker, would you take time away from your busy day to come to this event and to learn from the speaker? If I brought in this speaker or this content, would you take time out of your busy day to come to attend this event? And that was my biggest downfall the first few years. And then once I started learning to do it, this was where the rubber really hit the road, was I realized I have to be much more aggressive with putting out messages that the event is happening, and trying to give people a glimpse of what it will be like to experience the event. Through that marketing. So we design marketing that, gives them the chance to have that surprise, because that is what's going to actually get them to show up to the actual event. Without it,
Stephanie,
you're screwed.
I think this is so brilliant. I love that you're really making it about really understanding the deeper psychology of what they're going through. And so this has been absolutely gold for anybody who wanted to do an event of really where to start. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me, Cindy. This was amazing.
Yes, you're so fun. And for all of you watching, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Marketing for Your Future. I am your host, Cindy Ashton, and if you want to connect with Stephanie, be sure to go to dailyadbrief.com, and I will see you on the next episode.
Simplify presents Addressable CTV, combining the power of TV with the targeting and attribution of digital. Simplify's Addressable CTV delivers massive reach with the ability to scale without sacrificing precision. TV buyers can generate incremental reach with household-level targeting, frequency controls, reporting, and insights. To learn more about Simplify's Addressable CTV and what it can do for your clients, visit simply.fi.